You've probably been told that fasting for 16 hours a day melts fat, boosts energy, and resets your metabolism. And yes, it can do all of that. But here's the truth most people never hear. Most people doing intermittent fasting are unknowingly sabotaging their own results. They fast, but they don't burn fat. They skip breakfast, but their hormones are a mess. They push through hunger, but their energy crashes halfway through the day. It's not your fault. You've been following generic fasting advice that completely ignores how your body actually adapts over time. You see, fasting is not a one-size-fits-all plan. It's a metabolic language. And if you don't speak that language correctly, your body never unlocks its true healing potential. The health industry won't tell you this, but the results from fasting change dramatically depending on how long your body has been doing it. The first 30 days, your cells are learning to switch fuel sources from sugar to fat. By 90 days, your mitochondria are rebuilding. But by 365 days, if you've been fasting wrong, you might have slowed your metabolism, lost muscle, and damaged your hormones without even realizing it. That's why some people experience extraordinary transformation, tight skin, flat stomach, mental clarity, while others stay stuck in the same cycle of cravings and fatigue. It's not about fasting harder, it's about fasting smarter. So today, we're going to uncover the biggest fasting mistakes that silently block fat loss and longevity. You're going to learn exactly what happens inside your body at day 30, day 90, and day 365 of a 16-hour fast. And more importantly, how to make sure your body is healing, not hurting. Because when you understand these truths, fasting becomes effortless and your results become unstoppable. The first 30 days of fasting are where most people either build momentum or lose faith. This is the stage where your body is learning an entirely new rhythm. For years, maybe decades, it's been conditioned to depend on constant feeding. So when you suddenly stop eating for 16 hours, your body panics. Hunger hormones rise, energy feels unstable, and your brain screams, "Eat something!" But what's really happening beneath that discomfort is your metabolism beginning to wake up. In these early weeks, the hunger hormone ghrelin starts to reprogram itself. Normally, ghrelin spikes every few hours because your body expects food on schedule. But after about 2 to 3 weeks of consistent fasting, those hunger waves begin to calm. Your body starts to understand that it's not starving, it's adapting. That's when true fat burning begins. At the same time, insulin levels start to drop. Think of insulin as your fat storage gatekeeper. When insulin is high, your body locks fat away and runs only on glucose. When it drops, through fasting, your body finally gains access to stored energy. That's why intermittent fasting works so powerfully for fat loss, brain clarity, and inflammation control. But here's the key. The hormonal benefits don't kick in if you're unknowingly doing things that keep insulin elevated. This is where most beginners go wrong. They fast for 16 hours, but sip on sugary drinks or chew gum that triggers an insulin response. Some grab healthy snacks late at night and think it doesn't matter because they're small portions. But the body doesn't count calories. It responds to chemistry. Every time you spike insulin, you interrupt the very process you're trying to activate. Another big mistake: poor hydration and electrolyte imbalance. When insulin drops, your kidneys release more sodium and water. That's why in the first week of fasting, many people feel lightheaded or fatigued. It's not starvation, it's sodium loss. Without enough electrolytes, your energy plummets and cravings intensify. People think fasting isn't working, when in truth, they're simply dehydrated. A pinch of mineral-rich salt and plenty of clean water can completely transform how you feel during the fast. Then there's the food quality problem. Fasting doesn't cancel out a bad diet. If you break your fast with ultra-processed foods, seed oils, refined carbs, or low-protein meals, you spike insulin again, and your body never truly learns to run on fat. You end up in a cycle of fasting, overeating, and crashing. That's why I always tell people the meal that breaks your fast determines how the next fast feels. Feed your body nutrient density, clean protein, healthy fats, fiber, and minerals, and your energy stabilizes almost instantly. Sleep is another overlooked piece of the fasting puzzle. When your sleep is inconsistent, your cortisol levels spike. Cortisol is another hormone that raises blood sugar, and when it's high, it fights against insulin sensitivity. You could be fasting perfectly on paper, but poor sleep signals your body to hold on to fat as a survival mechanism. The first 30 days aren't just about when you eat. They're about how you live between the meals. Now, here's the science that ties it all together. During this first month, your body begins mobilizing visceral fat, the dangerous fat around your organs. It's the kind that releases inflammatory chemicals and drives insulin resistance. But this process takes time and consistency. The body needs to trust that it will continue receiving nourishment after each fast. That trust is what allows it to safely switch from sugar burning to fat burning metabolism. So if you're in your first 30 days and feel tired, hungry, or frustrated, good. That means your body is unlearning years of metabolic confusion. Don't chase perfection, chase consistency. Each fast is like a rep in the gym for your mitochondria. You're retraining your cells to use fuel efficiently, to stabilize blood sugar naturally, to reduce inflammation from the inside out. These first 30 days are not about deprivation. They're about retraining. It's not punishment for your body, it's preparation for what's coming next. Because once your hormones adapt and your cells begin to trust the rhythm of fasting, that's when the magic happens. The cravings disappear, the energy returns, and your metabolism starts working for you, not against you. By the time you reach day 90 of a consistent 16-hour fast, something remarkable is happening inside your body. The early struggles, the hunger waves, the energy dips, the cravings have begun to fade. Your body has learned the fasting rhythm. It no longer panics when you skip breakfast. Instead, it turns inward, tapping into stored fat for fuel. This is the stage where fasting shifts from being a challenge to becoming your new metabolic normal. At this point, your mitochondria, the energy factories in your cells, are operating more efficiently. They've learned how to burn fatty acids cleanly, producing steady, sustained energy. That's what we call fat oxidation, your body's ability to use fat, not glucose, as its preferred source of fuel. When this system runs smoothly, your energy becomes stable all day long, your focus sharpens, and your mood evens out. You're no longer chasing energy, your body is generating it. But something even more powerful begins to take place around this stage: autophagy, the body's natural cellular recycling process. During fasting, your cells start identifying and cleaning out damaged proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria, and old cell debris. It's like spring cleaning for your body. This is why so many people report clearer skin, reduced inflammation, and sharper cognition around the 60-90-day mark. Their cells are literally renewing from the inside. And here's where human growth hormone HGH plays a vital role. Fasting naturally boosts HGH levels, sometimes up to 5-fold, which helps preserve lean muscle mass while your body burns fat. That means you're not just losing weight, you're maintaining metabolic tissue that keeps your metabolism strong. When fasting is done right, you don't shrink, you reshape. You maintain strength, definition, and vitality while the body strips away unnecessary fat. Now, here's where the fork in the road appears. Around day 90, people tend to fall into two groups: the ones who thrive and the ones who burn out. Those who thrive understand that fasting is not about eating less, it's about eating better. They break their fast with nutrient-dense, real food. They prioritize high-quality protein, clean fats, and colorful plants that nourish their mitochondria. They stay hydrated, manage stress, and respect their circadian rhythm, eating during daylight, sleeping deeply at night. Their fasting works with their biology, not against it. These people see the fat melting away, the inflammation dropping, the brain fog lifting. Their energy feels effortless because their metabolism is aligned with how nature designed it to function. Then there's the other group, the ones who crash. They rely on caffeine to survive their fasting window. They push harder, sleep less, and eat less. They start confusing stress for discipline. Their meals are rushed, low in protein, and full of keto, junk foods. They're technically fasting, but their bodies are under chronic stress. Here's what happens biologically when fasting turns into fatigue. Cortisol, your stress hormone, starts to dominate. When cortisol stays elevated for too long because of sleep deprivation, overtraining, or emotional stress, it interferes with insulin sensitivity. That means even though you're fasting, your cells stop responding properly to insulin, making fat loss harder. You may start retaining water, feeling anxious, or noticing your weight plateau. Cortisol also signals your liver to release glucose into the bloodstream, thinking you're in danger. This keeps your blood sugar slightly elevated even during fasting hours, which cancels out many of the benefits you worked for. Add caffeine abuse on top of that, multiple cups a day to push through low energy, and now your adrenal glands are overfiring, keeping you stuck in survival mode instead of healing mode. Another silent trap is under-eating. Many people assume that fasting means constantly eating less, but when you chronically deprive your body of nutrients, your thyroid slows down, your metabolism adapts, and fat loss stalls. You start losing muscle instead of fat, which reduces your overall energy production and leads to that dreaded fasting fatigue. The secret to thriving at day 90 is balance. You're no longer teaching your body how to fast. You're teaching it when to rest, eat, and repair. Sleep becomes your fasting multiplier. Deep, restorative sleep amplifies insulin sensitivity and fat oxidation. Without it, even perfect fasting schedules will fall short. When everything aligns, your meals, your sleep, your stress, your light exposure, your body transitions into what I call the metabolic freedom phase. By day 90, your cells have upgraded. You're burning fat almost effortlessly. Your inflammation is down, your brain is sharp, and your mood is balanced. You've built a metabolic engine that runs clean, efficient, and strong. This is the turning point where fasting stops being something you do and becomes something your body is. Your system is no longer fighting the process, it's thriving within it. When done right, this 90-day mark is the moment your body becomes a fat-burning, anti-inflammatory powerhouse, and fasting becomes your most powerful tool for lifelong energy and longevity. You could be fasting perfectly on paper, 16 hours every day, clean meals, low carbs, and still not see results. The reason isn't your willpower, it's your hormones. Because if your fasting schedule is out of sync with your stress, your sleep, and your lifestyle, your body will fight back. You can't fast a hormone imbalance. Think of your body like a smartphone. When the battery is full, it runs updates smoothly, apps load fast, and everything feels effortless. But if that same phone is on 5% battery and you try to download a massive software update, it freezes, overheats, and drains out completely. That's exactly what happens when you try to fast while your body is running on stress hormones. You're asking it to heal while it's barely keeping the lights on. Let's start with cortisol, the stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is your friend. It wakes you up, sharpens your focus, and mobilizes energy. But when it stays elevated all day, it becomes your fat loss enemy. Chronically high cortisol raises blood sugar, and when blood sugar goes up, insulin follows. That insulin spike shuts down fat burning and traps your body in sugar mode even during fasting hours. Many people don't realize that their fasting plateau isn't caused by their diet. It's caused by their stress response. If you're waking up anxious, over-caffeinated, and underslept, your body's internal alarm system never turns off. You might be fasting for 16 hours, but your metabolism thinks it's in danger, not healing. Sleep plays a huge role here. During deep sleep, your body lowers cortisol, repairs muscle tissue, and balances hunger hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Leptin tells your brain you're full, ghrelin tells it you're hungry. When you cut sleep short, leptin drops and ghrelin rises. You wake up hungrier, more irritable, and more likely to crave sugar. It's not a lack of discipline, it's biology. And here's where many people unknowingly sabotage their fasting rhythm: late night eating. The science of circadian fasting shows that our metabolism follows the sun. In the morning, insulin sensitivity is higher. Your body handles carbs and calories better. As night falls, that sensitivity drops, meaning the same meal eaten at 10 p.m. spikes glucose much higher than it would at 6 p.m. When you snack late at night, your body can't clear that glucose efficiently, and fat burning gets shut off overnight. You wake up tired, bloated, and hungry. A clear sign your circadian rhythm is off balance. Think of your hormones as a symphony. Cortisol is supposed to peak in the morning to give you energy, then slowly fade so melatonin can rise at night for deep sleep. But if you stay up scrolling through your phone, snacking, or stressing about work, that rhythm flips. Now cortisol spikes at midnight, melatonin stays low, and your body's natural repair system never kicks in. The next day, you need more caffeine to wake up. Skip breakfast because you're not hungry, and start the stress loop all over again. The fix isn't more fasting, it's smarter recovery. Resetting your hormonal rhythm starts with honoring your body's natural cues. Get sunlight within the first hour of waking. This anchors your circadian clock and lowers cortisol naturally. Stop caffeine after 2 p.m. to prevent cortisol spikes at night. Make your last meal at least 3 hours before bed, rich in protein, minerals, and healthy fats to stabilize blood sugar overnight. Before bed, trade screen time for stillness. Breathwork, journaling, prayer, or gratitude aren't just mindset tools. They physiologically shift you into the parasympathetic state where digestion, repair, and fat burning happen. You cannot heal in fight or flight. You can only heal in rest and digest. And when it comes to fasting, remember, it's not just about when you eat, it's about how your hormones interpret that signal. If your body thinks you're under attack, it won't release fat, it will store it. But when your cortisol is balanced, your sleep is deep, and your meals are aligned with your circadian rhythm, fasting becomes effortless. Your body trusts the process again. That's the real secret. You don't lose fat by eating less. You lose fat by sensing your hormones with fasting. Because when your hormones are in rhythm, your metabolism dances with them. Your body finally feels safe enough to let go of what it was holding on to all along. After a full year of consistent, mindful fasting, your body is not the same body you started with. The cells that once relied on sugar for every ounce of energy have evolved. The cravings that used to control your choices are gone. Your metabolism has rebuilt itself from the inside out, steady, efficient, and flexible. This is no longer a temporary health strategy. It's a new metabolic identity. At the 1-year mark, your visceral fat, the deep, dangerous fat around your organs, has dramatically reduced. That change doesn't just make your waistline smaller, it makes your entire system younger. Visceral fat is inflammatory. It's hormonally active, constantly releasing stress signals that age you from the inside. As fasting continues over months, insulin sensitivity improves, inflammation drops, and those stress signals go quiet. Your body no longer lives in emergency mode, it thrives in energy conservation and repair mode. Your insulin now operates with precision. Instead of staying high all day, it pulses gently, only rising when you eat and falling quickly after. This flexibility is the hallmark of metabolic health. Your body can burn fat or sugar on demand. You're no longer trapped in that mid-afternoon energy crash or evening craving spiral. You can skip a meal without panic because your body knows exactly where to find energy from within. This metabolic intelligence unlocks something most people don't realize fasting can do. It enhances brain performance. Your brain begins to run on ketones, the clean, burning fuel your liver creates from fat. Ketones don't just power your neurons, they protect them. They boost a growth factor called BDNF's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. Higher BDNF means sharper focus, better memory, and even emotional resilience. That's why people who fasted for a year often describe not just physical transformation, but mental clarity, a deep, grounded sense of awareness and calm. On a cellular level, something even more profound is happening: the renewal of your immune system. Through regular cycles of fasting and refeeding, your body triggers autophagy, that cellular cleanup process we talked about earlier. But after a year, this cycle has compounded. Old, dysfunctional immune cells are replaced by new, efficient ones. Your inflammation levels stay low, your recovery improves, and your resistance to illness strengthens. It's like your body has installed a self-cleaning system that runs quietly in the background every day. Your mitochondria, the engines of your cells, have also evolved. A year ago, they were sluggish from sugar overload and oxidative stress. Now, they've multiplied and become more efficient at producing ATP, your body's energy currency. You no longer wake up foggy or rely on caffeine to get through the day. Energy feels natural, stable, and abundant. You've rebuilt your power plants from the ground up. But of course, not everyone who starts the fasting journey reaches this transformation. Some people quit too soon or fast inconsistently. They jump between strict fasting weeks and uncontrolled eating binges. They treat fasting as punishment instead of partnership. This inconsistency confuses the body. Insulin never stabilizes, cortisol spikes return, and metabolism gets stuck in what I call metabolic limbo. That's the state where you're fasting enough to feel deprived, but not consistently enough to heal. The body doesn't know whether to store or burn, rest or fight, and so it stalls. The truth is, your body doesn't need perfection, it needs rhythm. The people who make it today, 365, aren't the ones who never made mistakes. They're the ones who got back on track after each setback. They understood that fasting isn't about deprivation. It's about communication. It's you learning to listen to your biology, to know when to push and when to rest. By the 1-year mark, fasting is no longer a discipline. It's a dialogue. You eat with intention, fast with trust, and live with awareness. Food no longer controls you. Your hormones are balanced, your energy is stable, and your body has regained its natural intelligence, the one that was designed to heal, repair, and thrive without constant input. That's the real transformation, not just a smaller waistline, but a body that's metabolically free, a body that burns fat efficiently, resists disease gracefully, and responds to life stress with calm precision. Because after a year of fasting done right, you don't just have a healthier metabolism, you have proof that your body was never broken. It just needed consistency with wisdom, not perfection, to remember how to heal itself. Even after months of fasting, many people wonder why they're not seeing consistent results. They're disciplined, they're skipping meals, they're staying committed, yet their fat loss stalls, energy crashes, or cravings creep back in. The truth is, it's rarely the fasting that fails. It's the small, hidden mistakes that silently sabotage the process. Let's uncover the top 5 fasting mistakes that destroy results and how to correct each one. Mistake A1, breaking your fast with high sugar or low protein meals. You've gone 16 hours without food. Your body is finally in fat burning mode. Then you break your fast with oatmeal, fruit smoothies, or toast, foods that spike glucose and insulin immediately. That single choice shuts off fat burning and pulls your body back into sugar dependency. The correction is simple. Break your fast with protein and healthy fats. Protein stabilizes blood sugar and provides amino acids for repair. Fats extend satiety and help your body stay in ketosis longer. A meal of eggs, avocado, and greens or salmon with olive oil tells your metabolism, we're safe. Stay in balance? That combination keeps insulin low and transitions your body smoothly from fasting to feeding. Mistake 828. Drinking sweetened coffee or fasting-approved drinks. Many people unknowingly break their fast before they ever eat. Sweetened creamers, flavored waters, zero sugar, drinks, or even stevia, heavy supplements can trigger an insulin response, pulling you out of the fasting state. Even if calories are technically low, your brain and pancreas detect sweetness and release insulin just in case glucose is coming. The fix: keep it clean. Black coffee, green tea, plain water, and mineral-rich electrolytes are your best friends. If you need flavor, add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon. Hydration and minerals support energy and reduce the false hunger that many mistake for cravings. Mistake A3. Overexercising or under-recovering. This one surprises people. Exercise is a stressor, a healthy one, when managed properly. But combine intense workouts with daily fasting, poor sleep, and caffeine, and you create chronic stress. Elevated cortisol from overtraining raises blood sugar, which cancels fasting's fat-burning benefits. You might lose weight at first, but eventually you burn out, hit a plateau, or even start storing belly fat again. The correction: train strategically. On fasting days, favor strength training or low-intensity cardio. On refeed days, you can push harder. Prioritize recovery as much as training. Get quality sleep. Replenish electrolytes and eat enough protein to rebuild muscle. Remember, fasting builds resilience only when paired with proper recovery. Mistake Y4A. Ignoring stress and sleep. You can fast perfectly, eat clean, and still sabotage results if your nervous system is always in fight or flight mode. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, and cortisol triggers glucose release. Your body thinks you need energy to run from danger. That glucose spike raises insulin and blocks fat burning. Sleep deprivation makes it worse by lowering leptin, your fullness hormone, and raising ghrelin, your hunger hormone. You wake up hungrier and more prone to cravings. The solution is to treat stress and sleep as part of your fasting protocol. Go to bed at consistent times. Dim the lights an hour before sleep. Avoid screens, practice deep breathing, or journal to calm the mind. Stress reduction isn't optional. It's the switch that allows fasting to heal instead of harm. Mistake way 5. Obsessing over calories instead of hormones. The calorie counting mindset is one of the biggest fasting traps. You can eat fewer calories and still block fat loss if your hormones are out of sync. Fasting works because it improves hormonal communication, lowering insulin, balancing cortisol, and restoring leptin sensitivity. But when people become obsessed with eating as little as possible, they create nutrient deficiencies, slow metabolism, and increase stress hormones. Instead of counting calories, focus on counting nutrients. Eat foods that regulate hormones: quality protein, omega-3 fats, magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins. When hormones balance, metabolism follows naturally. Each of these mistakes has one thing in common: they disconnect you from your body's natural rhythm. Fasting isn't supposed to feel like punishment. It's meant to create harmony between feeding and healing, stress and recovery, activity and rest. The human body thrives on rhythm, not rigidity. When you correct these 5 mistakes, fasting becomes effortless again. Your hunger normalizes, your energy stabilizes, your body starts burning fat consistently because it finally trusts the process. You realize that fasting isn't a battle of willpower, it's a conversation with your biology. So if your fasting results have stalled, don't blame your body. Your body's doing exactly what it's designed to do: protect you. Adjust the strategy. Refocus on alignment, nourishment, and recovery. Because the truth is simple: the body doesn't fail fasting. The strategy fails the body. There's a moment in every fasting journey when something shifts, not in your stomach, but in your mind. You stop counting hours and start feeling rhythm. You stop chasing perfection and start trusting your body. What began as a challenge becomes a lifestyle. That's the fasting freedom mindset. When most people start fasting, they think it's about restriction, about not eating for a set number of hours or forcing their body to burn fat. But as you've learned through the 30, 90, and 365-day journey, fasting is not deprivation. It's communication. It's you speaking your body's native language again, a language that's been drowned out by constant eating, stress, and noise. In the first 30 days, you retrained your metabolism. You taught your body that hunger is not an emergency, it's a signal. You proved that you can go longer without food and still feel strong. You started taming ghrelin, lowering insulin, and building discipline. Those early days were about trust, convincing your body that it's safe to burn fat again. By 90 days, the conversation deepened. You stopped forcing and started flowing. Your energy stabilized, your cravings faded, and your body began responding intelligently. You learned that fasting isn't just about when you eat. It's about how you live. You discovered the impact of stress, sleep, and hormones, and how alignment brings results that effort alone never could. And then, by day 365, something profound emerged: freedom. You no longer needed to rely on rigid schedules or external motivation. Your body had become metabolically flexible, a machine that could burn fat, think clearly, and move through life with grace. But even more importantly, your mind had evolved. You weren't fasting to lose weight anymore. You were fasting because it made you feel alive, focused, and connected to yourself. This is the essence of the fasting freedom mindset, where discipline transforms into identity. It's not about restriction, it's about rhythm. The same way the sun rises and sets, your body is designed to oscillate between feeding and fasting, action and rest, energy and stillness. When you honor that rhythm, your biology rewards you with balance, clarity, and longevity. Most people think fasting success is about willpower, pushing through hunger, fighting cravings, grinding it out. But that's a misunderstanding. Real mastery is calm, not forceful. When you learn to control your hunger, you learn to control your life. Because hunger isn't the enemy. It's a mirror. It reflects how connected you are to your body, your emotions, and your purpose. That's why the greatest transformation fasting brings isn't physical, it's psychological. You begin to detach your identity from constant consumption. You stop using food as distraction and start using fasting as reflection. You realize that every fasting window is a training ground for self-control, focus, and emotional strength. Every fast is an act of alignment, proof that your biology and your mindset are working together, not against each other. And that's what makes fasting so powerful. It's not just burning fat, it's burning away confusion, addiction, and the old story that you're controlled by cravings or routines. You've seen that your body can reset. Now it's time to let your mind follow. So, as you continue your journey, remember, fasting isn't something you do temporarily. It's something you live intentionally. It's a rhythm that honors your body's design, a rhythm that gives you energy when you're working, focus when you're creating, peace when you're resting, and confidence when you're leading. You've seen what's possible in 30, 90, and 365 days. But the truth is, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of living with awareness. A smarter, more sustainable fasting lifestyle that's aligned with your biology, not forced by willpower. Because when fasting becomes effortless, freedom follows. Your body is already designed to heal, renew, and thrive. You just have to give it the rhythm it remembers. So take this mindset forward, not as a diet, not as a phase, but as a way of life. Because when you live in sync with your biology, you stop fighting your body and start partnering with it. And that's where true health and true freedom begins.